join our chief guest in lighting the lamp. May I invite Mrs. Yashwant Sinha and Ms. Kathleen Kunder to please go up on stage and join the dignitaries in lighting the lamp.
Alex, the director of Rajagiri group of institutions, Father Dr. Anthony Daniel, the guest of honor, Shri Shyam Srinivasan, specially present on this occasion from the Western Michigan University, Dr. Herrick, dear students, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely delighted to be here this morning. When I was invited to this function, I did not know about Rajagiri, my ignorance. I was wondering whether I should travel all the way to be present here this morning, but I was persuaded by your invitation as well as a strong word of recommendation put in by my friend and fellow parliamentarian Dr. Chandan Mitra. And as I said in the beginning, my wife and I are absolutely delighted to be here. We have just seen a very moving, a very beautiful function, and learned a couple of lessons on how such functions should be organized. This is the Deeksharambham ceremony, and I must confess that I have been very impressed by the secular nature of the events that you have organized, and I am sure it is this spirit which shall inform the young students who are embarking on a new phase of learning. The subject which has been suggested to me for this morning's inaugural speech is broadly the nation's future managers, the opportunities and the challenges. So let's begin with the opportunities. Some 293 of you, after you have finished your course here, will go out into the wide world to serve the nation. I have invited here, I take it, not for my scholarship, but perhaps from my experience. And it is from experience that I am going to speak to you on this subject of challenges and opportunities, or opportunities and challenges. My first point to you is that you will be operating in the real world. You will not be working in the sanitized atmosphere of an operation theatre in a hospital, where there are controlled, where there is a controlled environment. You will be working in the real world. And when you work in the real world, there are some factors which you may be able to control. There may be others which will be beyond your control. We are, and I take it that most of you, as in the previous batches, will be going into industry, banking, finance, exports as young managers. I don't know how management is defined in Rajagiri, but my very common sense definition of management is that in a given situation where you are called upon to take a decision, you first look at all the alternatives. What are the various alternatives? When you have put all the alternatives on the table, then you try and pick the best one. The excellence of a manager depends on looking at all the alternatives. If it's a good manager, he will put all the 8 to 10 alternatives on the table. If it's not a good manager, maybe he'll be limited to only 3, 4, 5. And then a good manager will suggest either for himself or for his superiors the best alternative to pick up out of the whole bunch of alternatives before him. Now, this is the major role that you are going to play, and you are going to go up in life. You will be called upon to take various crucial decisions which will influence the enterprise for which you are working, which will influence the economy of the country, and which will ultimately impact on your own career. So, if this is the role of a manager, then the first and most important decision or option that you will have to exercise will be for yourself. That when you pass out of here, what is it that you are going to pursue? As I said, management is not just one discipline. It is a conglomeration of various disciplines. And you will have to, therefore, the first challenge that you will have to face, or the first opportunity, because every challenge is also an opportunity, is which is the line in which you would like to further pursue your career. Will it be finance? Will it be industry? Will Will it be one kind of industry or any other kind of industry? Will it be something else? There are many young managers that I know of who are now joining NGOs, non-government organizations, and going out into the villages to do work relating to social welfare and development in the villages. So that is an option that you will have to exercise. And this need for a specialization is something which you choose early in your career and then pursue that line. If you are in finance, like the guest of honor Shyam Srinivasa, then you pursue that line. If you are in the export business, then you pursue that line. Because ultimately, in this age of the specialization, opportunities will lie with how well you will specialize. Though, about the specialization and generalists, you are aware of that famous saying that a generalist knows nothing about everything and a specialist knows everything about nothing. Because when you rise to the top, your line of specialization will get narrower and narrower. Opportunities at the moment may look somewhat subdued, especially in the field of economic activity, where most of you will ultimately reach, because neither the global economy nor the Indian economy is doing too well. But a person like me feels that this is a passing phase and we shall overcome. How soon depends on the willpower of those who have to take decisions about the economic environment of the country. If the right decisions are taken, then we'll reach there sooner. If they are delayed, then reaching there will take some more time. But reach there we shall. You know, we often talk about the current economic problems. And whenever I travel abroad, my friends ask me, is the India story over? Because there was an India story. There was a time when China and India were being put at par. Now I remember some years ago when I was in government, a distinguished foreign visitor telling me that in earlier years you could meet the world in Beijing. He said, today when I come to Delhi, I can meet the world in New Delhi. But then from that pinnacle of nearly double-digit growth, we are almost half of that level, and we are bedeviled by a number of problems in our economy. But as I said, I tell my foreign friends that It is the innate strength of the people of India. It is the enterprise of our entrepreneurs. It is the excellence of our managers which will take India to the top once again. So the India story is very much intact. India will not lag behind the rest of the world. In fact, the time has come when we should lead the rest of the world rather than follow the rest of the world. That is my confidence in India, its people, and in you. And therefore, in a growing economy, there will always be opportunities for managers. I can tell you, my wife is sitting here. We have two sons. One of them went to the Harvard Business School, stayed in the US for many years, and they decided to come back to India. The younger son went to Columbia, did his master's in international affairs, worked in the US for many years, and now has come back to India and become an architect. And there are no exceptions. Lots of people who thought the opportunities lay outside the shores of India and went abroad have come back because the opportunities are here in India. And the opportunities are only